Hey guys, Liam Jenkins here from Philly Sports Network and welcome to an actual video on this channel. It feels like forever since I've been able to sit down and make a video with you guys, A, just having a chat, and B, actually put out content. I mean, it's been about a month since my last video on this channel, and there's been a lot of reasons why the content this year hasn't been where it usually is or what you've come to expect. And I wanted to just take maybe 5-10 minutes of your day to sit down and sort of explain the situation with this channel. Like, first and foremost, I am alive. I haven't gone missing. If you follow me on Twitter at Liam Jenkins PSN, all of the regular shithousery is still running on a regular schedule. There is still written content going up every single day. That has not changed. The only difference has been the YouTube side of things, and there have been a couple of different, again, reasons why that content hasn't come to fruition. And I personally just want to, first and foremost, apologise, because I wanted to attack this off-season. I wanted to put out film reams left, right and centre. I wanted to make this the biggest off-season yet for Philly Sports Network in terms of YouTube. I do feel like I've let a lot of you down. I feel that weight quite heavily, and while I know that a lot of you do read what we put out on phillysportsnetwork.com, the film reams and stuff are what you come for, and I do feel guilty for not being able to provide that service this year, just while my life has taken me on some very strange U-turns. First and foremost, the most prominent one is that my MacBook is literally dead. Like, so when I'm editing this, I don't have 3 keys I'm looking at right now. 3 of them are missing. It's a pain to get started. I need to get an iMac. I bought an iPad Pro before the end of the tax year. Think about it. To kind of negate the loss a little bit, what I didn't do then was have enough money to buy an actual iMac. So I'm still working on pretty beat up technology, which is just a pain to actually edit with, and very much saps the fun out of it when I need keyboard shortcuts for everything and I have to push my finger into a metal button that may electrocute me just to get it working. So, like, are there workarounds? Yeah. Are they a pain? Yeah. Could I buy a new Mac also at this point? Probably, yeah. But that brings us to point 2. In that I think I hit a crossroads with YouTube and life in general, and it wasn't until I took a step back from it that I kind of realized that. So, for context, 2020, as many of you know, was like without a doubt, the toughest year of my entire life. And a lot of people are in the same boat because of COVID, right? And obviously my business was very reliant on sport, predictably. I promise that's not smoke, it's like an incense burner. Because of lavender, here it is. Just make sure it's nothing dodgy. It's not going to come on there. So when sports stopped, like, our site revenues were down like 60-70% at one point, and I was making next to nothing. Then we had a couple of copyright issues. We had a couple of other incidents where we had one of our writers, we had to part ways with due to some racist tweets that were put out. There was just a lot of pressure that year, and on top of that, to keep the business even going, I was doing like 3 articles, a video, and a Twitch stream every day, like, relentlessly. And I would go home at like 8 AM, I'd sleep until like 5, I'd wake up and I'd just like grind through all over again. And that, I think, took a massive toll. And I hadn't worked that hard. I want to say since like the first years I started PSN. Like, I'm obviously always on, like, you know, a fairly constant motor. But that was like intense for me, and it hadn't been that intense since right at the start of PSN, where I was driving like every last second to make that like my full-time gig, essentially, my full-time job. And I burnt myself out in the process. So I started trying to pull back a bit and be like, I'm going to self-care. I'm not going to stream as much. I'm not going to upload YouTube as much, maybe a few a week. And through doing that, I think I also ended up losing a little bit of love for the content I was putting out. And it's like, I'm going to spend 7 hours editing this, or drawing up scripts, or watching game film for it to get copyright claimed, when at the same time, the website, phillysportsnetwork.com, was having the best year now in 2021 that it has ever had. And we were flying, and we're on the top of Google News. Like, if you Google the Philadelphia Eagles and go on news, there's a good chance that we're one of the top results now, which is like absurd to me. So with my commitments to that escalating and the money shooting up, essentially, and enough to kind of compensate for YouTube, in my head I was like, well, if I don't need to spend 6 hours on this video and I can almost like balance the scales by doing this on the website, then I'm not enjoying the YouTube video as much, because no matter what I do, like, there is just it felt like a decline almost. Then I'm gonna naturally kind of take a step back and do what needs to be done to keep the company spinning, to keep the right inflow. Then came, I think, the next big challenge, which was adjusting to life outside of work, which is new. That's the whole concept to me. So throughout the course of this year, like, the only way I can describe it is that within maybe 2 months, I got very, very lucky by, to be brutally honest with you, buying shares of AMC on margin. If you know what AMC is, that will be self-explanatory. If you don't know what AMC is, just know that it was a very silly idea that somehow made me more money than I ever had in my life. And I could pay off my credit card. And as someone that had that since age 18, I was no longer in debt. I had money to actually spend on myself, on my friends. Then COVID opened up and I could go and see people that I hadn't seen in literally like a year and a half. And my friends I hadn't seen in months. And then I get into a relationship. So that then takes a level of commitment outside of, I'd say, work hours typically, because you're going to want to spend more time with that person, and your free time, which I would normally stream and make YouTube videos in, then becomes free time, which is free time. Through the course of like the past few months, I felt like I was almost having a crisis. I'm not enjoying work anymore. Am I losing it? And it literally wasn't. It was just that in the space of a couple of months, my life had changed. And a new chapter had started, and I had enough money to live comfortably for a little bit, and a relationship, and friends, and I started playing golf, and I made a hobby, and I then felt guilty for that, because you guys aren't, again, getting content. But on that note, really quickly, if you did want to see something, like, I did put up a video the other day on a golf channel called Liam Jenkins Golf. Now, it's probably terrible, it's not fantastic, it's just a side project that I kind of want to do occasionally to document my golf progress, because I really enjoy playing it. It's a hobby, and I have this weird obsession of turning hobbies into, like, career things. So, you know, I mean, if you want to go subscribe and support it, that'd be great, but that's certainly not the point of this video. The point of this video is just to, I think, apologize and add context, because I did feel terrible for ages, and I still do feel really bad for not uploading as much. But I also now kind of am a bit more accepting that I'm 26, that I need to have a life outside of work, and that if work is my be-all and end-all, when things don't go well, like we saw in last year, it can massively, massively impact you. And there isn't much else outside of that. And I know that I didn't have enough, like, family time and things, and I wasn't able to see my friends enough. But all of these other aspects of life, which everyone normally has, that I really didn't put a heavy emphasis on, because it was just PSN or bust, like, for years. And this has been the first period where I've tried to take a somewhat step back. Now, I do want to, you know, go out there and say, look, I promise you there will be content coming. Like, I'll find a way, we'll get the film reams out. But it also doesn't help when you kind of got, like, plans on an English time zone and then work on an American one again. So I'm back to where I was, like, you know, before I started doing this full time, where half of what I'm doing is on, like, an English time, half it's on an American. My body clock doesn't know what it's doing. So I'll plan in my head to do a video at, like, 8 in the evening. And then it gets to, like, 9 and I'll start it, and it gets to 11 and I'm shattered and I can't quite finish it. So, like, there's been a load of things like that. But, yeah, like, part of me knows that I wanted to do so much more with this off-season, with the NFL draft, with free agency, with film breakdowns, with video editing, with the quality of content going out. I just didn't have the time to do it. And the free time that I did have to do it, I was trying to take care of myself a bit better and actually enjoy life a little bit and go, do you know what, Liam? Maybe you did earn a little break. Maybe you did earn a step off the gas to sit back a bit and just let life play out for a second. So, yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. And it's a really weird problem, because not a lot of people, I guess, can go, oh, what a weird problem. Like, life's going so bloody good. Like, it's not, I don't want it to come across like that at all. I really don't. What I want it to do is just kind of contextualize why I haven't been uploading. Because, again, there's still been endless content on phillysportsnetwork.com. I'm still running the website. I'm still, you know, talking to our writers constantly. I'm still trying to, like, orchestrate content. I did just want to apologize, because, again, I do feel that weight, unfortunately, of feeling like I owe you guys content, and I need to be bringing you guys the best I can. And I have slacked with it this off-season. I'm hoping that will change by, you know, September and beyond. I know there are some great Philadelphia creators out there. There have been some great new guys on the scene as well. Like, I keep an eye out. Like, I watch stuff, you know, in the moments before I pass out and whatnot. But, yeah, more than anything, I just wanted to contextualize, like, what's happened in my life, I suppose, over the past few months, and why I haven't been able to yeah, provide the content that I normally do. So hopefully you guys understand that. I want to try and do more things. If you want to check out the golf YouTube channel, there will be a link in the description below. If you don't, absolutely fine. I'm going to try and get some content out soon. I'm actually away this weekend on what I'm calling a break to actually not work. Now, I don't know how well that's going to go because I really struggle with that. So this is even a big step for me. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for your endless support because you've been incredible from day one. You've always supported the website, my Twitter, like obviously all the content, the podcast on Flipping the Birds and Deep by the River and all the other shows that we have on the channel. Like they get a lot of love as well. The regulars are always there. And you guys mean everything. Like, again, I don't take that lightly that without you, there is no me. But it just hit a point where I needed something. I needed to disconnect, like find myself. Life's changed now for me quite a lot, and I need to let that settle and just fall into place where I have a routine, I have a structure, I have a rough wake up, go to sleep, how I spend that day in between. I have a weekend, which I never normally had, or like a set day off, whatever it might be. Like I need to get that bit fixed before I can go, all right, well, now I can do this 2-hour block for YouTube and this 3-hour block for Twitch. Like, and that's getting there. Like I streamed the other day, this video is going out. I'm going to stream hopefully tomorrow night. It's getting there bit by bit, brick by brick. We're slowly formulating that. So I promise I'm coming. I'm not dead. We'll be baby stepping all the way home. But just thank you for your support, guys. Hopefully you understand. If you do have any questions or you're angry, fully understand it. But this high-pitched Brit isn't going anywhere just yet. All right, I'm not leaving. There'll be more Eagles content on the way soon, as well as some podcasts and stuff as well. Thank you for your support, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you soon.